Hey y'all, and welcome to September. This will be my first finished book of September, and if you watched August, if you got through that entire situation, you will know probably that this is the first book I finished this month. Yes, I did start it last month. I'm glad that I did take my time with it because the end was wild. I'm somewhere between 4.5 and 5 stars, and I can't decide. I did really like it, but also, no spoilers, I'm a little heartbroken, but I also still really liked it, and I'm not heartbroken by anything that the book could have done differently, if that makes sense, without being spoilery. Whatever. The point is, I did love it. I'm just not sure what star rating to give it at this point. It will be somewhere between 4.5 and 5 stars. It will actually be either like 4.75 or 5 stars. Highly recommend this book. This is, as described, it is raucous, it is bloody, and it is the perfect ensemble of like anti-hero goodness. I loved every character in the ensemble, not like every character. Like, God, there were a lot of them. Yeah, I loved it. I would highly recommend if you like fantasy, if you like any sort of ensemble style adventure, if you can deal with the harsh language and the gore and the guts. I love this. I thought it was perfection. This is next up, or this. One of these, I'll probably finish Wyatt first. So yeah, these two will be up next. And I will see you very soon for my next update. Happy September. I love September. I'm so excited. Fall is coming at the end of the month. It's still hot here, but it's coming. I can feel it. I can feel it. I love fall. I love autumn, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I will see you for my next one. Hey y'all, I have finished a book. I just finished this afternoon after work. I really liked this. I thought it was very fun. For a romance, this is definitely a 4 or 4.25. I haven't fully decided yet. I really did like it. I like Jessica Peterson a lot. Now, there is some kind of heavy spice, in my opinion. I wouldn't say the book is full of it, but like the moments are hefty. So like that's something to keep in mind. But I do think there's a lot of heart, a lot of growth. The male main characters, I might be having a cowboy moment. Maybe it's just a cowboy moment. I don't know. So on to what is next is Billy Summers. I have already started this, but I'm not very far into it. I've heard only good things about it, so I'm really looking forward to it. And then also on deck is By the Horns. This just came out yesterday. Today is September 3rd, so this came out on the 2nd. And this is book 2 in the Royal Artifact Guild, a Royal Artifactual Guild novel. I did get it. I got it. This is by Ruby Dixon. Also, this is way smaller than I expected it to be based on the first book. So I will be reading this probably like after or with Billy. So I don't know. I don't know. But this is also in the lineup. So yeah, that's what's next. That's what's current. That's what's going on. I will see you for the next update. Hello, it's Friday. I have a couple of updates for you. Number one, I got a new chair. My dad brought me a new chair. I love it. It's so good. It's so cozy. It's so much better than my old one. And I'm just like really happy. My back is happy. My butt is happy. I'm so happy. Also, last night I finished this. I didn't like it. I'm not keeping it. I think I gave this 3 stars on Fable because there were parts that I really enjoyed, and then there were parts that I didn't and kind of were deal breakers for me. I don't want to discourage anybody from reading it if they're interested in it based on the description. I do think at the time that I got this, I was just in a Stephen King place. He had a new book coming out and I wanted to get it. I didn't know a whole lot about it. Had I known that war featured so heavily in this, specifically the war in Iraq, I think maybe if I had known that going in, I would have skipped this one. I'm starting to notice a pattern that I'm not a huge fan of Stephen King's writing of women, his characterization of women or females in his books. And that kind of was a bummer to me. I also did not like that here. And that's about as spoiler free as I can give it. It just wasn't for me. In the beginning, I was a little bit like, I was unsure. And then it started to get really good and I was super into it. And then I was again like, this is not for me. And then it got good again. But by the end, I just wanted it to be over, and now it's over. And I finished it. So I think it's best to just go to the little free library. Somebody else is going to pick this up. They're going to love it. I did also want to show you this. It came Wednesday, 2 days ago, which is almost a week early. This is Picture Perfect by Tessa Bailey, book 4 in the Big Shot series. If you remember, I read the arc of this, and I did order from her local bookstore, which is called The Last Chapter Long Island, or maybe it's The Next Chapter. But pre-ordering with them, I did get this special edition. I think there were a few options for sprayed edges. This is what they offered. I like it. I think it's cute. She signs them and offers to personalize them. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may have already seen this in real time. But something I don't think I've ever gotten before is art. How cute is that? I love it. There's Skylar and Robbie. I thought that was a really cool touch. I didn't realize I was getting art, and I think it's so freaking cute. So there's that. And I think I had mentioned I had started, or the next book was going to be By the Horns. So I have started it. I am enjoying it very much. So see you in the next one. Hello, I have another update for you today. I finished this Friday night. I'm here to tell you that I loved By the Horns. This was a lot smaller than the first book, and I kind of liked that. I do feel like there was a portion of the first book that went on a little too long, and it was a little too dramatic for like what was happening. Anyway, all of that to say, I loved this. I thought this was really quite great. I loved Raptor. He is a really good male main character. He was sassy. Gwenna was sassy, but like he was also sassy back, and I love that. He's very flirty, but he also has that like really protective streak. So this was fun. I loved seeing the magic here again. I like this world. I like these characters. I like that we got to see so many characters back again. I love Kip. Kip is kind of everything. I would love for Kip to have a book because he has a little bit of a girlfriend. And yeah, it was just great. I gave this, I think, 4.5 stars. I'm so glad that I picked up Bull Moon Rising last year because it was pretty, and it just ended up being so great, and that now I have this, and this is the dust jacket for that one. I just really love the naked book. So yeah, that's that one. One more down. See you for the next update. Hey y'all, I have another update for you today. I have finished the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook by Matt Dinnimin. This is Dungeon Crawler Carl book 3, and we are on the 4th level of the dungeon here. As you can tell, this is like a train level, train central setting, and they're in, I guess, kind of a train station, but it's not just subways or bullet trains. There's like steam engines, there's cargo cars. So there's this very wide variety of trains that you can get on. There are what to me seem like a million stations, a million lines based on colors, names. There's numbered stations. Like, the train part was a little harder for me to follow. I'm not going to lie to you, especially in the end when they're trying to explain a connection. I had a little hard time grasping that, but as always, everything became clear in the end, and I did understand the explanation. So that was good. I loved this. I love the epilogues, love that sort of talk show appearance that we get at the end in the epilogues, and the backstage at the Pineapple Cabaret situation is getting more interesting. And so I just want to read book 4 so I can kind of get to that as well. I mean, I love the dungeon crawler stuff, but this being like spoon-fed to us little by little by little, I'm so intrigued. I really want to know what's going on and what's going to happen. I know it'll all culminate, certainly. Also, Agatha made an appearance very briefly, and I just know there's something up with her. So I don't think that's spoilery at all. I don't think I gave any spoilers. I'm dying to know what's going on at backstage of the Pineapple Cabaret and with Agatha. I know there's something there. I have a thought about the Pineapple Cabaret and I have a thought about Agatha, but I don't want to share them. If in some weird realm I'm correct, it would totally be a spoiler. I'm so happy to be back in this world. Hi, welcome. I have another update. I have finished The Gate of the Feral Gods. This is Dungeon Crawler Carl, book 4. We are on the 5th floor, 5th level, whatever, of the dungeon. I'm going to put this down because it's heavy and it will distract me if I have to keep holding it up and making sure that it's in the frame. I did make a lot of notes about this book. There were so many things that stood out to me, but there's so much of it that's really, really spoilery, and I did not want these to be spoilery. I also am going to try not to make this really long, but there's so much I could talk about with this book. Hey guys, I realized that I was getting a little spoilery, actually, a little spoiler adjacent or close to spoiler in my wrap up here, and I wanted to be really aware of that and not ruin anything for anybody. So if you feel more comfortable, I would suggest skipping to 16 minutes and 14 seconds, and I'm really sorry about that. And I wish I had someone to talk about it with. I think that's why there's like podcasts where people just talk about these books chapter by chapter. There's so much going on. It's a very rewarding series to read. You get something in every chapter. Do I always know exactly what's going on? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is like the first time I watched Snatch. Like, I'm going to need to watch it a few times to clock all of the things happening. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to have to read these a few times. But what I can say is things are starting to feel darker, and Carl is really leaning into that compensated anarchist role heavily. And I like it. I like a vengeful Carl. I like a Carl that has something to prove and people to take down a peg. I like that. I really like Carl. I don't even think he's an anti-hero. I think he's just a hero. I just love him. He's great. I also had the thought while reading this volume, and I hadn't really had this thought before that I'm aware of. If I had entered the dungeon with my 2 dogs, just me and my 2 dogs, Lucia Marr style, if you will, they would have made it longer than I did. That's for sure. The dungeon is a wild, wild place. And it's just so much fun. I'm just having so much fun with these books. And it made me think, like, how would I have fared in this situation? I would have probably stayed on the outside or gone in and died immediately. Right. Some other non-spoilery things I can share is that, like I said, we're on the 5th level or the 5th floor of the dungeon. I do not like the setting at all. I have liked pretty much everything up to this point as far as the setting goes. I did not like this one at all. I hated it. I'm going to be really honest with you. I hated it. Loved the characters, the returning characters, and there were several new characters that we got to meet. Chris has made an appearance again. Very happy about that. Agatha has been mentioned by other crawlers, but we did not see her in this book at all. I think we saw her right at the very end of book 3 briefly. I have so many theories about Agatha. I gotta know what's going on there. And much like Agatha, we didn't get that much Agatha to begin with, but I'm really vibing with Katya. I like how her confidence is growing. I like how she is leveling. I like how she's coming into her own. And I'm afraid that as soon as I start really, really loving her, she's gonna fade out a little bit or fade to the back a little bit like Agatha did. Like, I'll know that she's there, but I won't always know exactly what's happening with her. So there's that. I'm not sure. That's just the feeling I'm having right now. We get to see outside of the dungeon for the first time since the beginning of the book, since Carl went into the dungeon. This is the first time that we're out of the dungeon on the surface of Earth, not for one of the shows or recording sessions or something like that. This is the first time we're back out on the surface of Earth, and something that I had been thinking was confirmed. However, as quickly as I was excited that, like, oh my God, I was right, I immediately thought, no good will come of this. This can't be good. This cannot be a good thing. This is going to certainly be a crap show. So there's that. And I was really impressed with some of the creatures, and one of the characters is called Quetzalcoatlus. That's how I pronounce it. I don't know if that's exactly correct, but that is the name of a prehistoric pterosaur, one that I'm very interested in. And so the name, as soon as I saw it, stuck out to me, made me very excited. Now, it is the name of a character, not an animal. And then there were two types of creatures. So there's a two-headed dog, which to me is very like Cerberus-coded Greek mythology. And then there are the Luskas. And if you've ever watched any Jeremy Wade, you might know that there was an episode where he was investigating a blue hole. And something the locals thought was taking people from the blue hole was a Luska. And that is, in layman's terms, a sharktopus. It is like shark face, octopus body. And that is exactly how they present in this book. As soon as I saw Luska, I immediately was like, I know what that is. I know what that is. So it's just really exciting. It made me feel like I could probably hold a conversation with Matt Dinnimin. Maybe not a very long one, but I do think that there are things that we could talk about, that we could connect on. And that made me really excited. I love dinosaurs. I love fish, especially any sort of mythological fish or prehistoric fish, anything like that. Really, really interests me. Anything Jeremy Wade has ever talked about probably interests me. And then again, just the dinosaurs. I love prehistoric fauna. And that was really cool to see in this one. And I do think we're going to get more dinosaur-esque stuff in the next one. I love Mongo. I'm still searching for a Mongo and donut t-shirt. I haven't quite found the right one. And so if anybody has any recommendations, please let me know. I just continue to really love these books. I think that's all for now. Let's keep it short and sweet because that August one got out of control, and I will see you for the next update. So sorry, I just remembered that I forgot to give you my star rating. This is 4.5 stars. I don't think there's been one that's been under 4.5 stars. Book one was 5 for me. This is 4.5. I didn't love the setting. The next book, I just have a feeling it's going to be 5. All right, so for real this time, I'll see you in the next one. Hey y'all, I have a tiny TBR update for you. I finished this today randomly. I didn't expect to really read this month. It wasn't like a high priority or really even on my radar, but because of all of the stuff going on right now, I didn't have a lot of time to read. And since I am reading this, it's, you know, even if I read for 2 hours, like I'm still only getting a quarter of the way through it or something. So it's very, 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 very dense. And I think maybe I needed a win, and I saw this and I was just like, I'm just going to read this. I'm going to read it really quick in one sitting and finish it. And that's what I did. I loved it. I've always been a huge fan of the movies, both movies. I grew up watching the original, and when the Johnny Depp version came out, at first I was like, but I really love that. Sometimes I watch it over, like as a comfort watch. So it was interesting to see which parts of the book both movies took away and which parts they changed. Neither one is 100% accurate. I will say that. Neither one gets it all the way right, which I wouldn't expect that. Like that's not a disappointment to me. But this reigns supreme. This is the best version out there. This is great. The book is better. I loved it. I think I give it 4.5 stars. It is a kid's book, and I don't know if I give any kids' books 5 stars. I don't know why, but like 4.5 feels right. We're gonna leave it there. And then, like I mentioned, I am reading this. I didn't pick it up, I think, since last Thursday until yesterday because I was finishing our book club book, which was fine. It was like okay for a mystery for me. I have a hard time with mysteries. I just do. It's a me thing. It's not the book thing. Everyone else enjoyed it more than I did. But anyway, that's not important. That's not a physical TBR book. I love this. Stuff just keeps happening. Like you expect it to happen. And I feel that we have kind of gotten into a spot where there's almost a formula for what's going to happen. And this is a little more chaotic. This is a little more unexpected. I am very much enjoying it. I do think that between tonight, any reading I can do tomorrow, and then tomorrow evening, I think I can finish this. So I am hoping to come to you tomorrow with my update and review that this is done, or perhaps Wednesday morning. We shall see, but the goal is still to finish this and that this week. Anyway, long story long, I will let you go. I will see you for the next update. Bye. Hey y'all, I'm back with another quick update. I am a couple of books behind, so I finished 2 books, but I haven't been able to jump on here. The first is, no surprise, The Butcher's Masquerade by Matt Dinnimin. This is book 5 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. As usual, it's very heavy, so I'm gonna put it down. I wanna say right off the bat, I have longer reviews on my Fable account and spoiler reviews on my Fable account. It's just too much to get into here. This video would be like 2 hours long because I cannot shut up. So, what I will tell you unspoilery about this book is this was 4 stars for me. This was not quite as high as the others in the series so far. Of the ones I've read, this feels the weakest to me, and I get into it more in the review, so I'm not gonna like put anything here. 4 stars is still a pretty high review in my opinion, so I'm not hating on this book at all. It just, a couple of cracks started to form for me. My desire to read the series, it has gone nowhere. I don't anticipate like this series becoming a letdown or anything like that. I don't want this to come off as negative at all. So far, out of the 5 books I've read, this has been the weakest. Somebody has to be the weakest. This just so happened to be the one. I'm gonna give you some like high points. You know, I have my notes, but most of the time I feel like these notes are almost exclamations of something that's happening, like my mind has been blown or something exceptionally funny has happened. It's usually something funny has happened. So I will give you my high points there. There's a Whataburger in this one. You know how the safe rooms, or is it the safe rooms or the personal spaces, have the, it's usually like a fast food restaurant is the entrance. So there's Whataburger in this one, and for some reason that just really tickled me. Maybe it's all of my Tallahassee roots, but there was that. And oh, Donut says, "We don't blow up our friends, Carl." That was a good quote. No spoilers there. Samantha. I love Samantha. I hope Samantha never leaves ever at all. She's a real one. I really enjoy Samantha. What else? Pony. Okay, Prepotente, Pony, aka Prepotente, aka Pony, whatever. He's kind of here a lot at the back end of the book, and he has a lot going on. He's a lot smarter than I thought he was. Like, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean, he's got, like, he's playing chess, we're playing checkers, is what it feels like to me. Like, he's got a task, he's got a path, he's got something cooking, and we might know parts of it, but we don't know all of it. It has yet to be revealed. So I feel like something is really cooking with Pony. Also, I love when he screams in Carl's face. I love it. It's always so out of left field and very unexpected. And if I happen to be listening to the audio at a time that it happens, it never fails to catch me off guard and make me laugh uncontrollably. It's so hilarious. The narrator does such a good job. And now that I have that scream, that goat scream in my head, even if I'm just reading it from the page, I can still hear it in my mind. I can hear it right now. It's so good. It's so funny. It never fails to make me laugh. The epilogue was a little WTF, I'm not gonna lie. And we have an Agatha sighting, and this is a true sighting. Like, there's no interaction. We just see her, or we think it's her, okay? So yeah, that's kind of it. I enjoyed it very much. I've already started the next book, but before I get to that, I did finish this. This was a very quick read. I started it somewhere around the end of this. I just needed to jump out of the world for a minute. Anyway, this is from T. Kingfisher's Backlist. This is a 2016-2017 publication, and it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It was so good. I loved it. It is very small. It's very small. I don't even know how many pages it was. 216, nope, that's her dedication. Let's see, 214 pages. Very short, very sweet, very like easy to read, but a very good time. You can really tell the more you read T. Kingfisher and even older stuff, she loves fairy tales and folklore and magic and mysticism. You also get the sense that she loves gardening. And I know for a fact she loves gardening because she posts about it on Instagram. Had I not known that, I still would know that she loves gardening, and probably that she hates roses. I don't think she likes roses very much. Probably from some personal experience, but there's something, I've had a hard time characterizing what it's like to read T. Kingfisher, and I think what it comes down to is that you feel how passionate she is about the things she's writing about magic, fantasy, horror from time to time, mysticism, folklore, fairy tales. She always writes a really sassy heroine and a really almost grouchy or at least off-putting male main character, and I love the dynamic she has between all of her characters, women to women, the sisters, the relationship between Bryony and the Beast. Like, you can really feel how much she loves telling stories, and I just love reading them. So I hope she never stops writing. I do believe she has at least 4 books slated to come out in 2026. One is a re-release, but I think there are 3 brand new books coming in 2026 from her. And I don't know how she does it. I don't need to know. I just hope she keeps doing it. Truly a rewarding experience anytime I read her work. And next up on the docket is The Eye of the Bedlam Bride. This is book 6 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I am not very far. I think I'm like 130 pages, something like that. 131. What do you know? What do you know? She's a good guesser. This is an absolute chunk, a Queen Anne chunk, if you will. Is anybody reading these books? Are any of my references hitting, or are they just going straight over everyone's heads? I don't know. But this is 812 pages. Like I said, am on page 131. I don't think I'll finish this before the weekend, but I will probably finish it over the weekend and try to jump straight into book 7. We'll see how that goes. The end of book 5 was pretty heavy and there was a lot happening, and I did need my little break, so I took it, and we'll see what happens with this one. But again, I'm not going to put a whole lot of pressure on myself to finish the series before the 23rd, which is next Tuesday. I just don't think it's worth it to go into a reading slump or to just, put that much pressure on myself. I still have time to review book 7. It is technically out. We are just celebrating the hardcover release of book 7. I might maybe see if I have a teeny tiny palette cleanser that I can read between this and then starting that arc of book 7. Who knows, my physical copy might come before I'm done with it. Anyway, this is the check-in for now. I will see you at the next one with really, honestly, who knows what. Bye. Hey, I have what will hopefully be a very quick update for you, and that is that I have finished The Eye of the Bedlam Bride. I've tried to give a little update of this a few times. I finished this maybe like 45 minutes or an hour ago. We had dinner, fed the dogs, went outside. Like, I'm trying to gather all my feelings in a non-spoiler way, and I can't really do that. I mean, we've come too far. I really deeply enjoyed this one. 5 stars for this, and I don't think I've had 5 stars since the first book, but this for me was 5 stars. There is so much going on. Like, I have forgotten and remembered things that happened just in this book, just since the end of The Butcher's Masquerade. There's so much going on. It is thicker than a snicker. I loved it. It was very emotional, very high emotion. I think I felt the full spectrum of emotion during this book. A lot of grief and anger for sure, but also like profound happiness with found family and things like that. So I don't want to give anything away. I really don't. But I also deeply wish that I could talk to someone about these books as I'm reading them. I wish somebody was like buddy reading them with me. That would have been a good thing to plan out. I didn't think these would have the emotional impact on me that they have had to this point. I cried twice, like full on, during this, and the note that Matt has between the epilogue and the bonus chapter, I think it's the epilogue and the bonus chapter, exceptionally touching. His father passed while he was writing this, and that just sort of explains a lot of the emotional part, I think, for me. So you would think I'm moving on to my arc of the inevitable ruin, but I'm not. I need a little bit of a break, I think. So I'm moving on to my arc of Mockingbird Court. This is going to be the final in the Shady Hollow series, and I've been putting it off because I don't want to read it, because I don't want it to be over. I also have Summer in Orchis by T. Kingfisher. This is just one of my backlist books from her. But yeah, I I can't wait for the inevitable ruin, but I do think I need like some lighter fare for the time being. See you for the next one. Hey y'all, I have a tiny update for you, and the sun has completely gone, so the lighting is probably gonna suck, but I did finish this today, and I didn't expect to finish anything today, let alone this. Like, was not on my radar at all to finish this week, this month, whatever, but I did. And I did use Spotify for the audio for this because I didn't have the ability today to have my eyes on the page for the majority of the day. So I started this morning, finished it this afternoon. It was a very quick read, very quick listen. It's not that big. It kind of looks chunkier than it is, but the margins are quite large, and the font is like quite large in my opinion. So definitely a quick read. And I liked it. I had a good time with it. I'm not going to go into too much detail because this is book 5 in a series, but it's Mac and Annie's story. They're in a wedding together. They are complete enemies. I mean, I think in the truest sense, at least she hates him. He maybe doesn't like how mean she is to him, but I definitely think it's her that hates him more than he hates her, if that makes sense. So it was a good time. 4 stars, go ahead. 4 stars, I think, for this, just for what it was. I have been able to read a bit of this last night and this morning. I think probably an hour and a half combined, maybe. And I'm about 35% of the way through it. The Kindle says, I think it says I'll finish in 3 hours and 20 minutes. 3 hours and 19 minutes. It says that I should finish it. I am really, is it going to come back? I'm really loving this. This is the arc for Mockingbird Court. This is the final book in the series, which is a little devastating to me. I wish they would go on forever. I understand it, but I also hate it. So this book is really good so far. I am absolutely loving it. I'm trying not to read it super fast, but it's just happening. I'm just getting through it really quickly. So hopefully that will be my next update. I was thinking that maybe, and I might jinx myself on this, it might be a sabotage, but I was thinking to start the audio of The Inevitable Ruin. I haven't had great success solely with the audio in the past, so I'm a little wary of that. I don't really know what's going to be next. You know, I was going to read Summer and Orcus as well, and I haven't started that yet because I was really just focused on this yesterday, and that update was just yesterday. So again, like, I don't need to be too harsh on myself, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. I guess we'll just see what ends up happening, but that's where we are for now. I will be back with the next one. It's as much a mystery to me as it is to you of what book I will finish next, but I will see you for the next one. Hey y'all, I have a small update. I'm hoping to keep this short and sweet, but I did finish Mockingbird Court last night. I've not put up a review or anything yet, but I'm going to give this 4.5 stars just right out of the gate. It was great. It was the same vibe that we usually get from these books, but I feel like the characters were a little more spicy. There was some snark and sass and like so much personality in this one. I really, really enjoyed it. That being said, I am not well that this is the 6th book in the series, is also the final book in the series. And I was hoping that as the final book that there might have been some farewell, some kind of like epilogue at the end of this book, and there just wasn't. Maybe there will be something in the print copy, like maybe at the time that I received this they didn't know it was going to be the last one, or they hadn't announced it. So I don't know. I'm just disappointed that it's over. It's the end of an era, and I will really, really, really miss these books coming out. I mean, roughly like once a year, I think. So I will have to reread. I do hope that the authors can come back together at some point in the future and maybe write a few more. I was hoping this was going to be a series of like 10, 12 books. Honestly, that's how I felt like it was just going to keep going. And the fact that it's over is just so sad to me. Vera, though, was very snarky and sarcastic, and Orville was very sassy. I loved it. I loved seeing more from all of the characters. I just am sad that this is it. So I'm going to leave it there because I'll just roll around in my pit of despair that this is over if I am left to my own devices. I have something really embarrassing next, okay? This. Do you guys remember how I've been talking about this and I've been calling it the inevitable ruin? The inevitable ruin, the inevitable ruin, the inevitable... It's this inevitable ruin. I don't know. The physical copy came, obviously, the other day. I am, I think, like 100 pages into this. 108 pages, and I'm on chapter 8. And I have, of course, my dedicated Carl bookmark. This is huge. I did a page check earlier. I think it was 870 or 871 pages, something like that. It's massive. I'm trying to take my time because I think I spent so much time trying to get to this point that I didn't really think about the fact I don't know when book 8 comes out. And so once I finish this, I'm done for a while. I have spent months coming in and out of these books, like since I started the first one. So after this, to not even have the option of another one to dive in and out of is, again, sad. Like, this is, I'm so sorry. Between these two things, it's like kind of a depressing update. I know there will be more Carl, though. There will be more of these, just not right now. And I have so much else to read. Like, I really should just get it together. But yeah, kind of the end of a few things. Again, not permanent, maybe permanent. I'm holding out hope. But that's where we are right now. Also, my mom decided to start reading this. She is a big Lana Ferguson fan, but she doesn't do anything paranormal, so she's not going to read like Under Lock and Key or the Fake Mate stuff. She did pre-order book 2. She told me the other day that she pre-ordered book 2 in the Fake Mate series, and I'm like, you don't want that. And she was like, yeah, it's called The Mating Game. And I'm like, you don't want that. Yeah, I do. And I was like, Mom, they're werewolves. And she was like, oh. I'm dying. So I think she canceled that pre-order. Who knows? I think since this is the only unread Lana Ferguson on my shelf, and I have been circling it for so long, and now that she's reading it, I think I'm just gonna pull the trigger and read it. So I will be tag teaming these two. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, between This Inevitable Ruin, Mockingbird Court, I was also listening to an ALC that I got from NetGalley and Harlequin Audio. It was called Dinner at the Night Library. I'll maybe put it like right here. Really cute. Japanese translation, very much that slice of life. I think I've heard it called healing fiction, these types of books that I'm super into. I kind of like that. It was very good. I don't know that I would go out and buy a physical copy for my library now that I've read it, because I don't really see myself reading it again, but I very much enjoyed it. I think if you enjoy things like Days of the Murasaki Bookshop, Welcome to the Hayanumdong Bookshop, I think that was called, bookshop or bookstore. That was really good. Or even like the Kamigawa Food Detectives. If any of those sort of pique your interest or have made you very happy when you've read them, I think you would really enjoy this book as well. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I have so much to read. I have so much to get to. I am hoping that I can come to you with 2 more books this month, before the end of the month, before next Wednesday. And September has been very heavy in pre-order, so I will have so much to show you in the haul. And I'm going to try and keep these very brief until then. So with that being said, hey y'all, it's been a long day, and so I haven't been able to tell you that I finished this last night. Mom and I went to see Amy Dawes this afternoon. Ooh, we got to meet her. We did like a Q&A, and she signed the book that we were there for, which is last on the list. It's a re-release and for traditional publishing, and she signed like whatever else we brought, and it was so good. It was so nice to meet her. Like, it was so nice to meet her, so worth everything. So yeah, I'm like still buzzing off of that, but I did finish this last night and it was fine. I think I gave this like a 3.5 or 3.75. It was like, how do I not spoil anything? The kid was my favorite character. The kid and the old lady that was her former neighbor. What was her name? That's bad. I don't even remember. Wanda? It was Wanda. Okay, it was Wanda. So yeah, I finished this. It was not my favorite Lana Ferguson. It was still good. I still like how it ended. I thought it was a very unique premise. I don't know if I mentioned this. This is about this woman who used to have an OnlyFans, right? And she was making money that way, and while she was in college. And then this guy who needs a nanny, and she needed a job. So she applied to be his nanny. It worked out. It was great. Turns out he used to be her favorite subscriber on OnlyFans. I think it's an interesting concept. I think it's unique. And then somehow they come together without knowing who each other is in this. I like that. I mean, I like the little sort of like fate playing into things. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was fun for the most part. But like, it's the third act breakup for me that it either works or it doesn't. And for me, a lot of times it doesn't. And this was no exception. So it was fine. Not my favorite, but it was fine. I'm glad that I read it. I think I've read all of Lana Ferguson now. I think this is it. Yeah, I think I read all of Lana Ferguson that's out. So anyway, there's that. This Inevitable Ruin. I think I've gotten about 100 more pages into it. I'm around 202, 203, chapter 17. I just looked. I don't have it in the room with me right now, but I did look and check so I could tell you. I can't decide if I should just fully commit to that and put everything else aside, because I am a little overwhelmed with all the stuff that's coming at me right now, like library books and things like that. I'm having a little bit of a chaos monster moment. Like, I read a KU book on my Kindle over the past couple of days too. So I had like this, the KU book, and this Inevitable Ruin. I just can't. I'm in one of those scattered places where I was back this time in August, where I was having a hard time finishing one thing. I was trying to do like a bunch of things at once, and then all of a sudden I'm finishing 2 or 3 books at the same time. So like, I finished this last night. I finished my Kindle book this morning. I'm having a hard time focusing in on one thing. And I do think the fact that this Inevitable Ruin is the last book for however long is making me not want to finish it, which is so great. But I need to finish it. I want to finish it. I'm having a good time with it. There's so much happening. That's the other thing. There's so much happening, and there's so many new characters, and there's so many rules. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's where I am. It's this. I said I wanted, in my last update, I said I wanted to come to you with 2 more finished books this month. This is one. Maybe this Inevitable Ruin will be finished by Monday or Tuesday. I think Tuesday's the last day of the month, so we shall see. And yeah, that's all for now. Bye. Hello, this will be the final installment of my September Wrapped, and I want to do a little bit of housekeeping before I jump into the last few books I finished for the month, and say that going forward, I'm probably going to be keeping these wrap-ups and hauls separate. I think it will be a cleaner experience for me and for the viewer. And I think it will be more focused on book reviews and then books that I haven't read. So with that in mind, I'm thinking October is quite busy for me, and I will probably do maybe 2 or 3 books at a time and give sort of quick reviews and give my thoughts as close to real time as possible, but it may not be every single time I finish a book. And then I'm thinking for the haul to do maybe every 2 months, or even seasonal, do every 3 months, and just any books that have come in that I haven't already read would be part of that haul. This month I've already received a few books that came in and then I almost immediately read, so I don't want to feature the same book twice in the same video, and I think this is just going to be better all around. That means there won't be any haul today. I do have something I want to show you that I bought that's not technically a book, and then I'm going to share with you these last 3 books that I was able to finish before the end of the month. First up is Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon. This is a Japanese translation, and it fits in a category that I recently learned the name of, which is healing fiction. And I think that perfectly encompasses this subgenre of fiction. There's usually an element of magical realism, not always, but in this one there certainly was. And this is a very unique take on meeting a deceased individual as someone who's alive. This book actually centers the go-between, and the go-between is a person who arranges these meetings between a living individual and someone deceased. It's not always a family member. It's not even always somebody that they knew in person, but it's so interesting. The whole concept is really just wild and cool at the same time. I like that this story centers around the go-between as our main character. With all of these other individuals coming in, we get to learn a little bit about their backstory, the individual they're meeting, and why they want to meet that person. And then at the end, we get the backstory of the go-between, how he became the go-between, who came before him, and what that process is like. It was so unique. It was so moving. It was very emotional. I think I cried 2 or 3 times in this. It was too good. It was too good. And I believe I gave this one 5 stars, and I stand behind that. It deserves all 5. Next, I did finally finish This Inevitable Ruin. This Inevitable Ruin, not The Inevitable Ruin. I loved this as well. I think I gave it 4.5 or 4.75 stars. And I think I've proven pretty well throughout this video that I cannot talk at length about any of these books without giving away some sort of spoiler. So I'm going to say one thing about this book, and that is Samantha is life. I love Samantha. I need a Samantha prequel, sequel. I need her to have her own spinoff. I want to know everything about Samantha. I would love a Samantha and Mongo adventure style journey. And I'm going to leave it there. I am going to put this down. There is a void in my soul knowing that this is the last book for a little while. We don't know when book 8 is going to be coming out, but I did join the backer thing for the graphic novel Crocodile. I got a hardcover, that's all I know. So like one day there will be a graphic novel called Crocodile about Florian, and I guess I'm gonna be getting a hard copy of that as well as a digital copy. And I think a mango and donut sticker. I don't really know. I just got excited. So yeah, the void is real. I would love to know when book 8 is coming, so that I have something to look forward to, but I might just have to like start the series over again and slowly read through them with other books mixed in. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do without Carl. And the very last book that I finished this month was Guard in the Garden. This is about a dwarf warrior who is grievously injured in battle. While he is recovering, he cannot return to his battle-ready state. He also can't be any other kind of warrior, as there's really not room for him. So with the help of his former colleagues, he joins the city guard in the town where he's been staying while he recovers with his aunts. He becomes such a staple of the community. It is one of the sweetest things I've ever read. This also made me cry. I think all 3 of these books probably made me cry at some point. This made me cry for all the best reasons. It was so sweet. It was so heartwarming and endearing, and just like the perfect cozy fantasy. There is a follow-up to this book. I believe it's called Wagons and Wyverns, and that is coming on Monday. I have already ordered it for myself, and that's cozy like this one. But this author also has books in this same world that are more of an epic fantasy, and I think there's somewhere between 3 and 5 in that series. I think it's also being re-released traditionally published, so there are some really cool covers for those that he's been showing on Instagram. Point being, I loved this, and now I want to read everything he's written. And then I think I mentioned I was going to show you something that I did buy this month. It's not technically a book, and it might make a little bit of noise, so I apologize in advance, but there it is. I picked this up at Target, and it is like one of those fake books that's actually a box. And it is seasonal for Halloween. It's part of like their Halloween decor, I think. But this kind of fits my shelf aesthetic, I think. And I would leave this up all year round, personally. So, like I said, it is a box. And I will try to not let anything fall out. It is a 2-section box. And I've been keeping stuff in here that's kind of specific to my shelf that I don't really want sitting out loose. So I have my book embosser, and I have my shelf guide, which I love. This is like the best $6 ever. And I did throw in my pass from the Amy Dawes event last weekend because I didn't know where to put it. And it's not something that I would like display necessarily, but it's also not something I want to throw away. So I just thought it could live in here for now. So yeah, I did want to show that because I don't think it'll be around very long, but it will stay on my shelf forever. And I think it was only like $5. So that's September. I don't have stats for you today. I am planning to do another bookshelf shuffle TBR goals video. I think it'll be part 4. And I've been wanting to film that for a really long time. I just haven't had the time. And I think we're getting there. It's been quite a while since that last one, so I will include stats in there. And then there's also this, not really a game, maybe a game, kind of a game that I want to do with my TBR, some of the oldest books on my TBR, and I think that would be the perfect video to play that little game in. So that should be coming up soon, and next weekend, my spooky season TBR will be up, and I may or may not have already read one of my books from that, so stay tuned for that one. But Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you spending the month of September with me as I read through many physical TBR books. I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye.